Well, hence I again a constitutional coup out here in California, and I got an informative video I think you're going to like here on general principles. And I've got a document I'm going to show you at least some excerpts from called my stand down letter to the sheriff. And this is going to be going out to every president of the Sheriff's Society and every quote unquote state in the nation, because they're the ones that are supposed to have our backs here. Of all the quote unquote elected officials, the sheriff is the one. And if we don't have any help there, well, that's another way of saying we don't have any peaceful remedies. And for one, I hope it never gets to that stage. But it covers a lot of ground. And as you'll see, I'm going to read you the excerpt, and this is good for uh, evictions, foreclosures, child procurement syndicate, traffic, criminal, you name it. And most of my documents, by the way, are done with criminal in mind. But that said, every situation you're in is at best quasi-criminal jurisdiction exercising federal, regional, martial law rule. Been doing it for 150 years. It has to stop. And we have a U.S. Supreme Court that I think sees it very much the same way I do. First time in 90 years, they're acting like a judicial court. To which I add, I'm your biggest fan here, guys. But get with it, do it faster. You haven't been acting like a court yourself for 90 years, and every one of you knows it. So what you're doing is greatly appreciated, and I get all the potential problems that you could foresee here with quote unquote elections and this, that, and the other. But when we get there, you know we have a right to be there. That's your court saying it. So time to take action. Like you said in your Ashwander doctrine, which I don't think applies in the original jurisdiction, the court will not address the constitutional matter of law in the advance of the necessity of deciding it. You don't ask, we won't answer. And they know damn well, especially for the last 70 or 80 years, no bar member of the U.S. Supreme Court in his right mind is going to bring any of the issues that we do. Not going to happen. And they know that 99.5% of us don't have a clue, courtesy of the current public education system, even more so now with all this woke agenda, transgender BS. And here I am, 75, I don't have a clue what a transgender entity is, but second and third graders seem to. Well, you figure that one out. So that said, I'm going to show you the document from my stand down letter. And what we're telling the sheriff here in no uncertain terms is that council, meaning me, advises that all the official actors were and are committing acts of treason to the Constitution by actively aiding and abetting a court, aka administrative tribunal, to exercise jurisdiction it does not have and prevent to the maximum practicable extent um, any judicial court from getting involved, if any exists, to exercise jurisdiction which they have been vested. And I cite a case called Collins v. Virginia here, the best decision ever 200 years ago. The current justices know this one right now. The advantage decision of the court. And it goes on, that said, counsel advises that any overt aiding and abetting of these traitors by a sheriff who has the sworn duty in the opposite direction and protect locals from the exercise of federal, regional, martial law rule to execute any eviction would also be an act of treason. That's how simple this is. And this is the kind of document you get with my material. Send me an email, uwinnincourt@gmail.com, and we'll go over this and a whole lot more in the fullness of time. But that's the situation we're in now. And I think we're in a window of opportunity here. We can really do something about it. And that said, once we get it done in one area, it's good in all areas. And the Supreme Court has ruled, by the way, and I'll send you a copy of this case with request for information. Send me an email, uwincourt@gmail.com. Axon v. Federal Trade Commission last May. A stunning, not to mention unanimous decision of the court against the administrative state and they've done more like it, and they have a current case, Jarkissi v. SEC, that they just had an oral argument on, and they may not make as broad a ruling as we would like, but I think they're again going to shut down the SEC in that case. So there's a narrow Seventh Amendment issue right to trial by jury, and we'll talk more about that on another video. But we're getting in better and better shape here as the court understands, what the hell is going on here. So it's all good news for us, and comes in the right place and the right time. And my position here, by the way, is I think the court's going to go a whole lot faster this time next year in 2025, after the quote unquote election, because they'll then know for sure that Thomas and Alito can retire, and they're going to get conservatives to replace them. And then in 4 more years, we may get the seats now held by Elena Kagan and Sonia Sotomayor. 8. Now we go up to 8-1. What the hell are the liberal Democrats going to do then? So that's the exciting news, what it really is. And it fuels what I do. And there I am, 75 years old, and I work at 10, 12-hour days, sometimes 14. I may have to take a little 5-hour energy drink for that. But that's how important it is and how good it is to do this. I just wish I had been taught 60 years ago in the public education system outside of Washington, D.C., for crying out loud. And wouldn't you know, a lot better in many, many ways, but not this one. I didn't hear jack about the information I talk about on my videos. If I had, my life would have been different back in the day. But that said, like I said, if you want more information, send me an email, uwinningscourt@gmail.com. Get the word out, tell your friends, subscribe, like the videos. And the sooner we start taking action against these bastards, the quicker we put them out of business. And that's good for ourselves, our families, and our posterity, none of which I have, by the way. I made a conscious decision years ago when I started studying that if I can't put a family first, I've got no business having one. But for you that do, that's your future generations whose freedom and liberty is at stake here. That's important. So remember to send me an email, uwinningscourt@gmail.com, and we will catch up in the next video. Thank you.